Publikum?
Yeah, I'm going to answer it in English if possible, so I can be a bit clear about what I'm saying. But it's a difficult topic because I think it happens in this day and time anyway, where these type of topics are even more difficult to discuss, it seems, than it used to be in the past, you know. So you have on one side, because I watched the game live. I tried to to watch the Dortmund game, but it was on Prime apparently, so I didn't have the right thing. So I ended up watching Madrid and Benfica, and I was really intrigued by the game, you know. So I saw it happen live, and then there's a couple of different components to this story. There's what happens on the pitch. Second, there's what's happening with the fans as well. Third, there's what happens after the game. And for me, in those three things, there's some clear separations we need to make. So what happens on the pitch, for me, you have Vini Jr., who, when you watch the action itself, his reaction cannot be faked. You can see it. His reaction is an emotional reaction. I don't see any benefit for him to go to the referee and put all this misery on his shoulders. There is absolutely no reason for Vini Jr. to go and do this. And he does it, and when he does it, I think in his mind, he's doing it more because it's the right thing to do in that moment. So he goes and does it, and next to him you have Kylian Mbappe, who normally always stays quite diplomatic and on every side, and Kylian Mbappe is really clear about what he heard and what he saw, and is even more clear after the game when he speaks about it. So all of this happens, but then of course you have a player who's hiding what he's saying in his shirt. And on the end, you have this side of it, which I think is a little bit okay. You have a player who's complaining, you have a player who says he didn't do it. And I think unless the player himself comes forward, it's difficult. It's a difficult case. So I understand this. But then in the background, you see in the stadium, there are people doing monkey signs. It's happening in the stadium as well. It's happening. You can see it's in the video. So it happens. You have on one side the altercation between the players. You have on the other side what happens in the stadium as well. And then for me, even worse, and I'm clear in what I say, is what happens after the game. So after the game, you have the leader of an organization, José Mourinho, who uses who attacks the character of Vinicius Jr. by bringing in the type of celebration to discredit what Vinicius is doing in this moment. And for me, in terms of leadership, it's a huge mistake. And it's something that we should not accept. So I'm very clear on that. On top of it, he mentions the name of Eusebio to say that Benfica cannot be racist because the best player in the history of Benfica is Eusebio. You know what black players had to go through in the 1960s? Was he there to travel with Eusebio every away game? When he went to every place in Europe? Probably at the time, because my dad is a black person from the 1960s also who made his way. Probably at the time, the only option they had is to be quiet and to say nothing and to be above it and to be 10 times better, to get a little bit of credit and people say, actually, he's good. That's Eusebio's life, probably. And today, to use his name to make a point about Vini Jr., who's actually finally in a situation where he can say something about it. There's a lot of players who play in different leagues still in Europe who don't have a voice. There's players today in Hungary, in Bulgaria, in Serbia. If something happens to them and they are black players, they have zero chance to have any kind of support. Vini Jr. at least is in a situation where a lot of people have made it possible for him to take this moment and to protest in this moment, you know. And then I'm thinking how it is that you can. So I'm not. It's a difficult thing for me to speak about because, to be honest, in many ways, and I say it very honestly, I don't actually fit in what I see today in the world that is happening in the world. Me personally, I don't see my place in a lot of the things that are happening in today's world. I really don't. So I don't want to be a part of one group. I don't want to be a part of the other group. But if I see the situation with the player, I would like to see a situation where my dream is that at the end of the situation, if it is true that the player from Benfica said something as bad as what he said, I would love a situation where there's still a room where somebody can apologize and say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. And this has an impact on the sentence as well. So the sentence should be A or B. But if you admit that you've made a mistake, there should be an opportunity as well to say that, hey, nobody's perfect. This is also a good step, you know? But we are taking away all these options because we are creating left or right and black and white, and you have to be on one side or on the other side. And actually, the one thing you can't do is punish someone unfairly. And the one thing you can't do is dismiss a person and attack the character of a person who's complaining about something he experienced and something that must be very painful to that person. So there's something that needs to happen, but and I'm just thinking, I'm sorry I'm going on this, but I'm just thinking, you know, when José Mourinho is doing the knee slide at Old Trafford, when he goes because he attacked the celebration of Vini Jr, when he goes to the fans in the semi-final Inter Milan against Barcelona, and he goes in front of the Barcelona fans and does his celebration, when he plays against Sevilla with AS Roma, and in that moment he's fighting with the referees, and the referees have to go under protection, leave the country under protection after that game. In that moment, if someone was racist to Mourinho, I would have hoped that all of us would say, stop, it doesn't matter his celebration. Let's listen to what he has to say. And let's defend some simple things, some core things. But again, even in that sense, I like to give context. So I have to still say that I know so many players, and I'm thinking about this situation, who have gone through it, and it's important to, I mean, it's happened to Eto'o, to Samuel Eto'o, it's happened to Mario Balotelli so many times. Okay, so it was their celebration as well? Okay, maybe there were some characters with personality. What if it happens to Patrick Vieira? What if it happened to me? You know, 20 years ago I was in Sevilla, and then we're going to say, oh, it was 20 years ago. Okay, I was in Betis Sevilla. I was there with Cheikh Tiote. Cheikh Tiote is a player from Newcastle who died with a heart attack when he went to China. An unbelievable person, like a heart of gold. Both of us were 18, 19. We go to this game, and you have the Betis Sevilla fans going on the fences, singing Ku Klux Klan, doing monkey chants, going on the fences like monkeys. And we played a game. I was happy to score a goal in that game as well because of this. And it happened back then. So was it my celebration as well? What did I do? You know, like, and at the same time, I have to note something. It was also one of the most beautiful moments in my career, because the Betis Sevilla fans of the General Stadium started to boo against the ultras from Sevilla, from Betis. So you had a fight within the stadium of fans who were not happy that the ultras from Betis Sevillas were doing these things, who were protesting. And I found this beautiful, because I said, okay, you know the world is not perfect. You have so many things, so many situations, but at least you have people from the same club fighting because they don't accept this, you know. So it was also a moment. But then you fast forward, and I'm a coach now, not so long ago. And I told you this story not so long ago. I go to Club Brugge, and I played for the national team. I was the captain for the national team. And me and my staff, we get called brown monkeys, and so on. And after I complain, I see how all of these politics happen again to kill the story. So no consequences, no nothing, and I have a voice. What do you think for the people without a voice? The problem is not necessarily the incident. The problem is how after that everything gets put in motion to basically sort of, I don't sorry, I'm going because I'm thinking about this as well. But so what you see and what you feel when you grow up with these issues is that somehow, somewhere down the line, this translates into maybe lack of opportunity. Because what happens is that you get pushed further and further away, you get branded more and more into one way, and actually what needs to be done to grow closer together takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort, but what happens is exactly the contrary. You get put into one, you get pigeonholed into one group, and the other one gets pigeonholed into the other group, and you just grow further apart. And so my thought about this is, and now I'm going to finish on this because you've opened up something for me here, but I'm going to finish on this. In the end, I'm not saying go left and kill or go right and kill. That's not what I'm saying. Deep down, I know I've met 100 people who worked with José Mourinho. I've never heard a person say anything bad about José. All the players who played with him, they love him. So I understand the person he is. I understand he's fighting for his team, he's fighting for his club, and he's made that decision. And you cannot be a bad person and have all the ex-players you've had talk so positively about you. So I know he's a good person. I don't need to judge him as a person, but I know what I've heard. So, and I understand maybe what he's done, but he's made a mistake. And it's something that hopefully in the future won't happen like this again, and that we can move forward and grow and hopefully yeah, I mean, look at the things that we can do together rather than the things that always constantly separate us. Yeah.
You have touched very.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So thank you.
Danke, Vini. Okay. Bis morgen.